Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to do a little introduction or overview of the Pioneer SX-690 stereo receiver. This is a receiver that I picked up not too long ago. I got it used, and as far as I know, this thing came out in 1978, and there is like a sister model which is called the LX690, LX meaning long wave. And this is part of a, I guess you would call it a series or line which started with the SX-590. This is the second lowest, SX-690. I think there's SX-790, and then there's the SX-890. I think the one below the SX-590, which is rated at 20 watts per channel, costs $225 in 1980, as far as I was able to find out over the internet. And this SX-690 supposedly costs $275. Now, this thing is rated at 30 watts per channel RMS with 0.1% distortion. All of the relevant basically facts can be looked up on the internet, or you can download the service manual or something like that. It's all stated in there. There's no reason for me to run through all of this here. One thing I do need to say, this doesn't use discrete transistors. What it does use, it basically uses integrated circuits, IC power packs, and those are rated at 30 watts each. In fact, you can still get those nowadays on the internet. They're not that expensive, so in case that would fail, you'd still be able to pick them up. And if we look here at the front here, let's turn this thing on. There's no plop. It's got some kind of a muting circuit. And this, let me go ahead and dim the lights a little bit, so you really can't see how the illuminated faceplate looks, the illuminated dial scale and everything looks with the main light here on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off now. So I've got the lights off now, so you can see better how the whole dial scale and everything looks here when it's illuminated. You see you've got the, I'm on the FM now. There's an FM stereo light coming on, and this is a source, just a source LED that really basically doesn't do too much. And right over here you have a tape monitor, so if I press the tape monitor switch, that red LED should come on, which it in fact does. And that was just I just turned up the volume a little bit for the FM. Let me go ahead and turn the light back on. Take a minute looking at the front panel here. And before I forget, the top here, the top plate, that's made out of metal. It's a black matte metal. And the sides are, here if you can see the sides, that's wood too, but I'm not exactly sure whether that's real wood or pressed wood. That I do not know. And of course the front is all, this is brushed aluminum, so if you do pick these things up, just aluminum gets scratched really easy. You got to make sure that you don't have any scratches on it, because that is going to, well, at least it would bother me every time I would have to look at it. Of course, this does have a scratch up here, a small scratch, so you have to take a really close look at that if you get these over eBay, because some of the sellers are unscrupulous, or they don't say anything about the scratches. They're just like good cosmetic condition or untested, you know, stuff like that. So you really have to be careful about that. I always buy from eBay sellers that take really nice pictures, you know, at least try to power the thing up. rather than have somebody that just takes one or two blurry pictures and really doesn't write anything except untested. You know, there's no, but they still want good money, of course, right? It's not like you're getting it for free. Over here to the left, we've got your power off on button. You got phones. You can use two sets of speakers, A and B, and you have your bass control, treble control, and this is for your FM stereo. You can, it would either be stereo or mono, and I think it's if it's in the stereo position, which means the button is out, that uses, then the FM muting works. That means when you dial between the stations, that there's no, basically there's no hiss between, no irritating hiss between the stations. And this here is just the basically the source selector, where you can switch in between AM, FM, phono, and aux. So you can hook up a CD player and a record player. And of course this is tape selectors. These are for like if you're hooking up tape units. And you got a left and right balance control. This is the volume, and this is a loudness control. That's also a standard feature on these units. And of course you got your large tuning dial, and you get your manual tuning dial indicator. Of course over here you have basically two power meters, which is which I thought was which I think is pretty cool. And you can see right there, I'm trying to get them to move up. See if I can move the camera a little bit. There you can see right now, you can see them moving back and forth right there. And I think I already mentioned this, it's got the LEDs here. This is just right now I'm getting stereo reception, so that's the stereo indicators on. And this is your center tuning meter. You know you're on station when this thing is at its center. And that's basically all there is to talk about the front. A lot of these units from this era, the controls, they might look different here, but the controls are just often the same. And here, this is as far as the illumination is concerned, of course it uses bulbs, and this is kind of like an off, I guess a yellowish, kind of like an off-white color, like the incandescent bulbs. Well, it actually is an incandescent bulb, or rather it has incandescent bulbs in there. I've seen 3 of them in there when I opened it up. So, and if we take a look here at the back here, we've got your speaker connections here, and you can hook up a total of 4 speakers. And best is, I think this is for 8 ohms, and it says here caution B. So if you're hooking up A or B speakers, or let's say just using A, you want to make sure you have a minimum, speakers have a minimum of 4 ohms each. And then if you're hooking up A and B, you want to make sure your speakers are having minimums of 8 ohms each per speaker. Here it says, if you're looking at this, 8 ohms or more. And if you're using just A or B, then it's 4 ohms or more. And this long thing here, of course, is the A antenna, which can be moved for better reception and pulled out like that. I really don't use that since I listen to FM mostly. So you got your regular connections in the back. Right now you can see I've got a 300 ohm dipole antenna, a balanced antenna hooked up. And here, these 2 terminals here, they're for the AM antenna. And here you can plug in a 75 ohm unbalanced antenna. Unbalanced meaning one side is connected to ground. And here you got your regular phono aux, your tape record play, tape 2 record play. And here it looks like mine even has some kind of a, what is that, a DIN, a DIN record and play jack. That's for the, can also be used in the European market, I believe. Since I think back in the day that's what they used to use in Europe, was the so-called DIN plugs. I run into them occasionally. So here we can take a quick look into the inside here, and here's those IC power packs I was talking about. And they're STK0039s, rated at 30 watts per channel. And here's the bulbs I was talking about. 3 bulbs. And the good thing is this thing's got like 5 fuses for protection, and the line fuse, that's over here. You can't see it from my position there. So you got a total of 6 fuses protecting this thing. And you get 1, 2, 3. It has a 3-gain tuning capacitor. It does use ICs in the radio section for AM and FM, but I really don't have a problem with that at all. Nice size power transistor here. So I think this is about, and this is, of course, this is the heat sink right here, what I'm touching with my hands for the unit. I think that about sums it up. I really don't have that much more to talk about this unit. I mean, they're like the 590, SX-590, or the, I think there's even the SX-690, which is pretty close to this. I think the SX-690, I think that has a different, I'm not sure, but I think it has a different color dial scale. This one is in black. And I think that might have a silverish color, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to get my hands on one, basically. Anyways, this concludes this short mini introduction overview. Thanks so much for watching. You can go out and get one of these things. The price, what was the price again? I was able to look it up. 1980, the price was $275, I believe. And this can be gotten much cheaper now. I don't know for how much. Probably if a unit's really good, maybe anywhere from $50 to $100. Probably can't get one for $25 or under. You might have problems, and you shouldn't really pay like $150 either. I don't think so. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.